Hey y'all, welcome to the channel. Today we're checking out Brits versus Americans clothing words,
What do you call this? Well, in America you'd call it a fanny pack, but to us
right?
Brits that does sound a little offensive since fanny doesn't refer to your butt. In Britain we would call this a bum bag, but either way wearing it is a little embarrassing. I'm Siobhan Thompson and this is Anglophenia. Now, Brits and Americans dress pretty similarly, but what we call our clothes differs quite a bit. So, we here at Anglophenia feel like it's our civic duty to educate both cultures on how to properly refer to certain articles of clothing.
Great. Well, she already covered one, bum bag versus fanny pack. I know fanny means vagina in Britain, but it means butt in America. Bum also means butt in America, and I'm pretty sure it means butt in Britain too. I'm going to continue calling them fanny packs because it's funnier. Bum bag is good too, though. I don't know. I reserve the right to use either. Anyway, I imagine they're probably going to say sweaters versus jumpers and trousers versus pants. I can't think of any others. Let's see what she says.
Articles of clothing. Pants versus trousers.
Pants
in the
versus
US,
trousers.
these are called pants. In the UK, they're called trousers because when we Brits think of pants, we think of these, what Americans would call underwear. This led Brits to mistakenly believe that the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants was a very different kind of movie. Pants is also a very soft swear word in the UK. It's what people on TV say when they want to say but they know that if they do say the editors will put a nice long beep noise over the top of it. So they say pants instead.
Really? Pants is a swear word? Pants is a swear word. Oh, I wrote penta. Pants was regarded as a bad term in England in the 1800s. Even while it's obviously not the swear term of the century, it is more filthy than it is in America. That's not a scientific thing. Pants. Pants. Pants, 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 pants. So if I say pants, is YouTube gonna, should I be beeping it out? Pants. I'm not gonna beep it out. Pants. Pants. Pants.
Trainers versus sneakers.
Oh.
In the UK, these are called trainers. They're called that for pretty obvious reasons. They're used for training. In the US, they're called sneakers. They got their name after shoes with rubber soles were invented in the 19th century. Their quiet rubber bottoms were perfect for schoolboys who wanted to sneak around. Some Americans also refer to these as tennis shoes. This came from a time when athletic shoes were a luxury item. Only the wealthy had the leisure time necessary for recreational sports. They would wear plimsolls while they played tennis, and the sport eventually became associated not just with plimsolls, but with all rubber-soled shoes. I guess there are worse rich person sports for the shoes to be associated with. I mean, they could be called croquet shoes.
Like, how many people who wear trainers are actually training? Probably not that many, probably like 1%, 2%. How many people wearing sneakers are actually sneaking? We'll never know. Because you can't detect them. Plimsolls? What's a plimsoll? Is a plimsoll a sneaker? Or a tennis shoe? Plimsoll. Plimsoll. A plimsoll, also spelled plimsoll or pump, also known as a gym shoe or a sand shoe, is a light sport shoe with a canvas upper and flat rubber sole. Plimsoll, like, kids. Plimsoll. Grab your plimsolls. I actually call sneakers, I call them kicks. Or just shoes. Just call them shoes. Oh my god, shoes.
Fancy dress party versus costume party. Okay, so if you're an American living in the UK and you're invited to a fancy dress party, you're probably going to show up in a tuxedo or a formal gown. Now, when you show up to this party and see a bunch of zombies and vampires, don't run away screaming. It's just Brits dressed up for what Americans would call a costume party. So they're not going to eat your brains or suck your blood. At least I don't think they will.
Fancy dress party? So then what do British people call a formal... I guess they call it a formal dress party or a ball. Black tie event? What do they call it? Not all costumes are fancy. A soiree. Okay. Yeah. That's classier. Really, if someone invited me to a fancy dress party, I would totally come in a suit. I wouldn't realize. But then I would just say, this is my costume. I'm dressed up as a rich person.
Swimming costume versus bathing
Swimming
suit.
costume.
Now, because Americans normally associate the word costume with a type of silly dress,
Right.
it's doubly confusing to them when Brits talk about a swimming costume.
Swimming
to an American, that
costume.
sounds like somebody in a sexy cat outfit doing laps.
Right.
And Brits are just as confused when Americans talk about bathing suits. The picture that comes to mind is somebody wearing a tuxedo having a bath.
Swimming costume, bathing suit. I call them swimsuits, right? Swimsuit. I call it a swimsuit, not a bathing suit, even though it's not a whole suit now that I'm thinking of it. Bikini, one-piece swimsuit, two-piece. There are a lot of words for these things, y'all.
Jumper versus sweater.
Hey!
In the UK, we call
Jumper.
this a jumper. Nobody's
Jumper.
quite sure of the origin of the word, although it may come from the French word jupe, meaning skirt, which is derived from the Arabic word juba, which means a loose outer garment. In the late
That makes
1800s,
sense.
Americans
Juba.
started to refer to this type of garment as a sweater because they believed that intense sweating would lead to dramatic weight loss. So they would wear
It
sweaters while
does.
they exercised. They didn't lose any body fat, but
Really?
they did do a really great job at making themselves utterly dehydrated.
Right. I mean, it'll make you lose water weight, and they do make you sweat if it's hot outside. I think it's a great word. It makes sense. But I like saying jumper.
Suspenders versus braces.
Braces?
But wait, this can get even more confusing because sometimes Brits and Americans use the same words to describe different things.
Right.
For instance, you know these straps that help keep an old man's trousers up?
Suspenders.
Well, in the UK, they're called braces, and in the US, they're called suspenders.
Braces?
In the UK, suspenders are the undergarments used to hold up stockings. In the US, these are referred to as garter belts. So if you're an
Oh.
American guy shopping in the UK, you might get some strange looks if you ask the shop assistant for some stylish suspenders. But you know what? Whatever floats your boat, we're not here to kink shame you.
That's not a kink. That's not a kink. That is a man who wants suspenders, aka garter belts. If a man wants that, he shouldn't have to deal with any judgment from a salesperson. And it's not a kink. It's a lifestyle. We also call those things that you put on your teeth to make them straighter braces. What do British people call those? In British English, these are known as curly brackets. You can also use braces in both British and American English to talk about a metal device that can be fastened to a child's teeth in order to help them grow straight. Curly brackets? Really? I've never heard that. Curly brackets? I've got nice curly brackets.
Tank tops versus vests. Okay,
Vests.
here's another one.
Hmm.
A tank top in the US is called a vest in the UK. What
Weird.
Americans would call a vest, we Brits would call a waistcoat. So if you're an American in the UK looking
I
to
have
go
heard
to a
that.
wedding, don't ask for a vest to go with your tuxedo unless it is real casual. And now you can successfully dress yourself
Wow.
on tuxedo unless you're
Tank
American in
top.
the UK looking to go to a wedding.
A vest.
Don't ask for a vest to go with your tuxedo unless it is real casual.
Waistcoat. That's interesting. It does go around your waist. Wow. You know, I've said this several times, but the number of terms that we have that are different is mind-boggling. We speak the same language, but also we don't. It's really existential. We do speak the same language, but we don't speak the same language. But we understand each other, but we don't understand each other. We are the same, and we are different. Eye-opening, mind-expanding, the universe, human existence, consciousness, tank tops and vests and waistcoats and bathing suits and fancy dress parties. They're all... Anyway, I'm surprised I learned something here. God, pants. Pants you. Go pants yourself. Eat my pants. Suck my pants. Lick my pants. You ain't got no pants. I can smell your pants. Anyway, wow. Yeah, I learned stuff. I'm surprised. Still learning stuff after all this time. Crazy. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed watching this with me. Thank you for watching it with me, and I'll see you next time. Later.